I don't think that y'all ready. Oh no. Ooh, I don't think y'all ass ready. Oh. Whoa. Ooh. I don't think y'all ready. And I don't think our live is ready on Facebook and YouTube until I see the timer moving. I don't see no timer and I don't see no notifications on Facebook and YouTube, but just so you know, we're supposed to be live on Facebook and YouTube right motherfucking now. Brett, it is not, the timer is really not timing. Alright, well, fuck it. Since they want to be fucking hard-headed. Alright, I think I see a viewer, so that means we do have a little bit of action on Facebook and YouTube. But this was going on. Our timer is not running on my podcast program. So I'm not getting credit for this live right now. But anyways, I see that we are actually live, so we're going to go ahead and break into this podcast, y'all. It is 6:11 a.m. here on the West Coast, Northern California, Stockton, California to be exact, baby. My name is the Missus. This is the Cherry Franklin Show. Y'all, if you have not rolled a blunt, made a drink, a cup of coffee, a sandwich, or fired up a square, now is the time to do so. I'm about to barely roll a blunt, and we're about to kick off 30 minutes of the Cherry Franklin Show podcast. Make sure you follow and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Follow us on Facebook. So, on YouTube. YouTube is where you could check our recently played list. It'll be on the side or something like that. Or you click on our playlist on the show. And you can look at the recently viewed and see all of the videos that we play here on the show. The music, not only just the music, but the other podcasters that we subscribe to and support. And as always, check out the description in our live videos. So you can follow the creators, the artists, and the brands that we support and that support us here at the Cherry Franklin Show. Y'all, get y'all motherfucking ass up. Now that we had an intro and we had a timestamp, y'all, get y'all ass in here. It's after 6 o'clock in the morning. Y'all know we've been trying to follow up on the stimulus packages that the White House has passed in the past 2 weeks. They're still about to debate over a government budget right now, so they could go on Christmas vacation. Meanwhile, we still haven't had a $2,000 stimulus check. We had a $1,400 and a $600. We ain't had a $2,000 yet. Joe Biden, ain't that how the fuck you got elected, by promising us one? Now it's the end of the fucking year. Are you crazy? When we elected you, we didn't expect that you was gonna throw us some change so we could try to make up the $2,000, honey. That's what we've been doing this whole motherfucking ass time, and it ain't been working. We also gonna talk about not only the stimulus check, but the vaccines, the Delta variant, and the new variant of the COVID-19 coronavirus flu. It's not gonna be pretty. None of that. But before we get into all these news clips, I'm definitely going to have to roll a blunt. Thank y'all for my money. I see it on the screen running way up. 4,265 diamonds. My counter just went like that. It added hella numbers on my screen. So thank you so much for being a top supporter and making me a top streamer. So I have to roll a blunt before we get into all these news clips. So y'all go ahead and leave in the comments and let me know, what is you smoking? What flavors are popular in your area? What is brand spanking new? And what is the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors? Agent J. As well as what not to get. What's that air pack? What's gross? Y'all make sure you leave it in the comments so we're not out here wasting our money. Again, if you have not rolled a blunt, made a drink, a cup of coffee, a sandwich, or fired up a square, now's the time to do so. We're about to kick off this great, good 30 minutes of wake and bake here on the Cherry Franklin Show. First things first, we're going to start off with the theme song. This song is called In the Air. It is by an artist named Trapito, featuring your girl, yours truly, Cherry, the Mrs. Franklin. You can find this everywhere. It is called In the Air by Trapito, or Put It in the Air.
Put it in the air, put it in the air, put it in the air, put it in the air. Everywhere I'm at, eyes on low, but I'm up there. Put it in the air, put it in the air, put it in the air, put it in the air. We rolling up this sticker. Everywhere I'm at, smoke in the air. Yeah, she on me, we on go. I want the bag.
Give me the cash. Put it in the air,
put it in the air. Put it in the air, put it in the air. We're rolling up this sticker. Everywhere I'm at, smoke in the air. We rolling up this sticker. Y'all niggas be tweaking. My life is back in this time. The whole team up in this time. That white nigga don't bring that way. The black nigga hits a collision just like a Brimland. We got some dead joints in the air. We do not count. So we on the left. We smoking rap.
So you need a tip. Let's go.
See, man. It's the best time of the season. Don't joint no leeching. I can just smash out a beat it. I'ma keep mine, I'm greedy. Y'all said you want me to eat it. I told her I'm vegan. Hey, y'all on super straight. I got the Mary J. That be my eight.
You can add me to the race. Foot on the gas, so get out the way.
You coming last, you a disgrace.
Fuck with my stash, I'll be where you stay.
When I get mad, I roll up the face.
Gas, rolling up.
Bait. Hey, put it in the air, put it in the air. Put it in the air, put it in the air. Everywhere I'm at, I don't know what I'm up there. Put it in the air, put it in the air.
Oh, I forgot to invite the chat to come smoke. Let's go grab them, shall we?
Everywhere I'm at, smoke in the air. He on the gas, she on the mid. We on the go. I want the bag.
Give me the cash.
I want the low.
Oh.
Put it in the air, put it in the air. Put it in the air, put it in the air. We rolling up this picture. Everywhere I'm at, smoke in the air.
Blow in the car, the room, it goes down. Anytime the don't move, smoke come out. 209, yeah, that's my cloud. Blunt rotations, that's my craft. You ain't gotta smoke this Cali. Put it in the wood, but you grew it in the valley. Keep on wax, so leaf on tap. I'll turn the team up, pair rally. Why you think they call me Cherry? I had grapes twisted in a blueberry. Mr. J, I'm coming with the Mary. This that thing, no air pack, spare me. I got lungs like a motherfucking vacuum. Puff, puff, ass, then pass, I'll tax you. That's just facts, no cat, boo. I put it on wax with a pack, fool. It's written on me like a tattoo. Big circle like a battle rapper's tattoo. Like guns, but I put it in the bag too. Like friends, but I put it on the bag too. So don't do me. I keep 5 on it like the loonies. Hit your ass off with a 2-piece. It go to me. Quit acting brand new like a groupie. And just put it in the air, put it in the air. Put it in the air, put it in the air. Everywhere I'm at, everywhere I'm at. Eyes on low, but I'm up there. Yeah, they thought I was just kidding. Who's just kidding?
I'm saying that's what this is all about, right? Clothes, bankrolls, and hoes. You know what I'm saying?
So, everybody, one of the first things we're gonna get into is the vaccine. Don't get mad, but this is what we finna talk about first. Whoo. let's start with the vaccine, shall we? So, y'all know there's a new variant of COVID.
About Paxlovid, your COVID antiviral drug that's in development. I learned this morning you guys now anticipate you can make 80 million courses, up from the projected 50 million you'd expected just a few weeks ago. Tell us about that ability to increase that manufacturing and your expectation of how well this should hold up against Omicron.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that's true. We are right now clearly can commit 80 million doses. It is thanks to, you have seen our manufacturing machine really at work, and they just can make it. And I'm very, very pleased that we are in this situation. Now, when it comes to Omicron and how the treatment should last, first of all, let me take a step up. I think Omicron is of concern for several reasons, right? But there are a lot of unknown things right now. And keep in mind that we have been preparing for something like that for months. What is the playbook? The playbook is to understand a little bit better, and then within weeks, I think we will know most of the information that needs to be known. But every day you learn more, then to protect, and then to treat. To understand the virus, I think we need the key questions are the questions that we are discussing all day today. I mean, what is the clinical manifestation? Is it more severe? Is it less? Is it going to be spreading faster or not? The second is, are the vaccines going to protect against this new virus, given that has mutations in the spike, and this is where most of the vaccines are working. And the third is, are the treatments going to be protected? On the third one, it needs to be seen, but the good news when it comes to our treatment, it is that was designed with that in mind. It was designed with the fact that most mutations are coming in the spike, so the mechanism of action that we're having is not related with the spike. So that gives me very, very high level of confidence that the treatment will not be affected, our oral treatment will not be affected by this virus. When it comes to the vaccine, it remains to be seen. I don't think that the result will be the vaccines don't protect. I think the results could be, which we don't know yet, that the vaccines protect less, which means that if the vaccines protect less, it is that if we need to create a new vaccine. Already we started Friday. Friday we made our first DNA template, which is the first part of the manufacturing of the development process.
That'll only be real if we notice the variant infection spiking and regular COVID cases decreasing.
Two vaccines built in less than 100 days. We built one for Delta, but we didn't know to use because the current vaccine is very effective against Delta, and we built one for Beta, which also we didn't have to use. So we will build one at risk right now for Omicron, but it will be used only in case we need it, if we see that the current one doesn't work.
So you say on Friday you started building that new template for an Omicron-specific vaccine if needed. Tell us about the tests that your scientists and your partners at BioNTech and others are running right now to understand how well the current vaccines will hold up, both with the 2-dose primary series and then also with a booster.
Yes, we are going to test this new virus, how serum from people that were vaccinated either with the 2 doses of our current vaccine or with the 3 doses of our current vaccine or with vaccines that we have made from Delta or Beta respond. And then based on information on that, we will see if and what is needed to be done in terms of developing or not the new vaccine. Also, we have a very high surveillance system, keep in mind, right? Both in South Africa, but also you know that in Israel, they are likely the healthcare authority that they have the most reliable data right now. And we are monitoring to see also in real time.
Y'all ready to smoke?
Keep in mind that I'm quite confident because
we're going to listen to a couple videos of them talking about the new variant of COVID and about the vaccine. They said with the Delta variant of COVID, they made a Delta variant of the vaccine, but the original vaccine proved to be strong enough to defend against the Delta variant, so they never distributed the special Delta variant version of the vaccine.
I don't think.
Now they're saying they're going to make a vaccine for this new variant as well.
Against the Omicron,
but they're going to continue to use the original vaccine to see if it's necessary to distribute a new variant of the vaccine or not.
And keep in mind,
what is your expectation?
It's a game changer right now because it's not the same situation. It's not the same situation when you have a treatment that instead of 10 people going to hospital, only one will go to hospital. Instead of people dying, basically no one dies. So it's very, very, very different story now.
And then I closed the one
because of the antiviral treatment.
Let me tell you something.
More
this one we listened to is like 8, 9, 10 minutes long. The one I closed was 5 minutes long. We should have watched the 5-minute one because they talking too much.
I think that it's not because of the fears against Omicron.
Oh no, this one's 5 minutes too, so it's the same one.
After the results of the study were announced, the 90% efficacy, and they are all right now placing orders for them.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.
Alright, that's the first video of the vaccines, but we have one more. Y'all make sure you leave in the comments what is you smoking, what flavors are popular in your area, what is brand spanking new, and what is the best of the best. What are y'all smoking today? Welcome to the Wake and Bake Show 420 podcast, aka the Cherry Franklin Show. We're just gonna wrap up a couple videos here, listening about the vaccines. Then we're gonna make our way to the stimulus check.
COVID-19 vaccine.
Then we're gonna make our way to
What
wrap.
do you need to know? Data from the beginning of this pandemic show us that pregnant people face higher rates of complication, not infection from COVID-19, but if they do become infected, higher rates of complications requiring ICU admission, ventilatory support, or intubation, being put on a breathing machine. Higher rates.
This shit kind of fire.
Delivery.
But you know what? I think this is the damn cherry burger.
I've spoken to the director of the CDC, the FDA, the head of ACOG's vaccine division, also the Maternal Fetal Medicine Society in this country, and the American Academy of Pediatrics, all unanimously recommending that people who are pregnant be vaccinated against COVID-19. Pregnant women were not initially enrolled in clinical trials. That is to err on the side of caution. However, all vaccine manufacturers
hold on to your stimulus seats, guys. In today's stimulus package update,
Pfizer and Moderna were, of course, tracking whether people became pregnant.
Hold on. That was our stimulus update getting ready. Chill out, Ron Yates. We finna get back to you in just a second. Let's hear what this lady got to say about the pregnant folks. This video is only 2.5 minutes long.
COVID-19 vaccines and pregnant people. What do you need to know? Data from the beginning of this pandemic show us that pregnant people face higher rates of complication, not infection from COVID-19, but if they do become infected, higher rates of complications requiring ICU admission, ventilatory support, or intubation, being put on a breathing machine, higher rates of preterm delivery. That, of course, has its own subsequent set of risk factors for the fetus and for the newborn. I've spoken to the director of the CDC, the FDA, the head of ACOG's vaccine division, also the Maternal Fetal Medicine Society in this country, and the American Academy of Pediatrics, all unanimously recommending that people who are pregnant be vaccinated against COVID-19. Pregnant women were not initially enrolled in clinical trials. That is to err on the side of caution. However, all three vaccine manufacturers right now in the United States, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna, were, of course, tracking whether people became pregnant in the course of clinical trials. They learned that there were 0 safety signals, significant safety issues amongst people who were pregnant who had been vaccinated against COVID-19. And then as we started having real world data and evaluating that data, we found that people who were vaccinated against COVID-19 during pregnancy and then went on to give birth, that their newborns had levels of COVID-19 antibodies that have been passed during pregnancy in utero. The vaccine does not affect fertility. There is no biologic or scientific pathway for that to happen. If someone is pregnant,
if you want to have a baby during the pandemic and you want to get vaccinated,
or initial COVID
they're saying it's very safe.
in all 3 trimesters.
In fact,
and
your baby will also develop
if a woman is breastfeeding. The bottom line is
the antibodies for the vaccine. For the virus. Excuse me.
Speak to your obstetrician
after you are immunized, so that their immune system can also defend.
For you, the fact of the matter is that there are many people who are considered high risk for COVID-19 even before becoming pregnant. And then when you look at the risks of certain high-risk populations in pregnancy,
and
you add or layer pregnancy on top of that, you can have an incredibly high-risk situation.
You heard that high-risk situation? I didn't hear that last part.
Many people who are considered high risk for COVID-19 even before becoming pregnant. And then when you look at the risks of certain high-risk populations in pregnancy, if you add or layer pregnancy on top of that, you can have an incredibly high-risk situation.
Yeah, that's stressful. They said that children ages 5 and up are able to safely be vaccinated. All children ages 5 and up can safely be vaccinated. Wait a minute. Hold on. It's a 22. Pew, pew, pew. Okay, let me tell you. There was adults, whether they was telling the truth or not. Let me tell you, I got a sinus fucking cold and I feel like shit. Like, I was ready to quit my job today. I'm just so tired of motherfuckers having a problem with the regular ass shit I need to do to make it in life, honey. But anyways, sinus headache, sinus cold. Feel like shit. And I have that drowsy, itchy feeling. Now imagine that and you can't breathe. And your nose won't stop running. And you keep vomiting and running a fever and diarrhea and shit like that. That's COVID symptoms. I don't want COVID. I don't want you to get COVID. And I also know that some people who were vaccinated, who never ever even had COVID, experienced some COVID symptoms in between vaccinations. Some of them did like a week, the 2 weeks. You got to do once a week or once every 2 weeks. Some people did a one-time shot and then a booster shot after 6 months. What else? Then they, like I said, they just said, now they say ages 5 and up can safely be vaccinated. Like I just said, adults were experiencing COVID symptoms after being vaccinated. What do you think more a child immune system will go through if they happen to get a bad shot or a strong dose or so? You know what I'm saying? God forbid, heaven forbid, a mistake is made, any type of live virus. Y'all seen that fly just now fly by me? Anyway, I say all that to say this. One of the large goals of this country is to get everyone vaccinated and everyone employed. So I want y'all to be aware of the different variants, who's contagious, what's contagious, and what's going around in your communities. I want y'all to be very aware and very safe. Please keep sanitizer, clean everything in your house with the bleach and water. Y'all know you could put like 1 cap full of bleach per liter to per gallon of water to make a sanitary solution that you could wipe down every counter, uh, every surface that you could safely put bleach on. There's a fly in here, y'all. I'm sorry. I want to smack it out the air hella bad. Um, Also, be on the lookout and please be aware of what they're telling y'all about these vaccines and about uh, the variants of COVID. You need to make sure you make an educated decision. Make an educated decision, whatever decision it is that you make, whatever it is. You need to consider all the facts, all the details. Um, and don't believe everything they say right away. They have to see. They can't tell you everything if everything ain't happened yet. You gotta give them a little bit. Y'all have any last questions, comments, concerns about your vaccines, the variants? Yeah, I don't even know what this variant does. Any type of new symptoms, where it came from. Ooh, this is like 15 minutes. Lord have mercy, give me the string, guy. Yeah, it is 6:36 a.m. here on the West Coast, Northern California, Stockton, California to be exact, baby. This is the Cherry Franklin Show. We're about to watch some Ryan Yates. You hear what he has to say about the stimulus check in our White House.
Beats, guys. In today's stimulus package update and daily news update, a lot of students plus a teacher were hurt in the recent Oxford high school shooting. It's times like this, I wish we had news on a new stimulus check. That's why I did some digging and I found this. 3 solid reasons why Congress should consider recurring stimulus check payments. Let's read through those reasons and see if we can get our stimulus hopes up. More news. When oil and important Biden updates on the Build Back Better bill and Congress's long to-do list. Can they get all this done before the year ends? Let's find out in today's video. Only the freshest stimulus updates right here on the Ron Yates channel, your YouTube home for prime stimulus and money content. A lot of you guys have asked me for more videos on how to generate income from home, how to create online businesses, and I did just that. I made a recent video dedicated to the top 6 online businesses that you can start and actually run from home.
OMG, Ryan Yates.
No out-of-pocket money. You can literally start with no money out of pocket. Definitely check out that video after this one. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and an even bigger thanks for always hitting that like button. I really appreciate the support. Each and every one of you guys really makes my day right here in our YouTube fam. So I just want to thank you guys so much for being here, and let's go ahead and make some stimulus magic. But first, a really quick reminder to stay safe out there, guys. A mass shooting just happened at the Oxford High School in Oakland County, Michigan. 3 students were killed, while 7 students plus a teacher were injured when a 15-year-old Oxford High School student sophomore unfortunately shot them with a handgun. Police said the 3 students who passed away are a 16-year-old boy and 2 girls aged 14 and 17 years old. 2 of the other victims were in surgery until this evening, and the other 6 were at hospitals in stable condition. The shooting all happened in about 5 minutes, and police said that the shooter was not injured, but was arrested, turning himself over to officers. Now, here's the scary part. Some parents said that even before the shooting, rumors had been circulating that a school shooting was going to happen, and some students even said that they had decided not to attend. While the Oxford High School authorities and police investigate the matter, residents and public officials expressed their condolences. Local baseball team, the Detroit Tigers, tweeted, quote, "We are deeply saddened by today's tragic events in Oxford. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and the entire community impacted by this tragedy." Attorney General Dana Nessel, she called out gun violence in her remarks. Quote, "We must act to properly address gun violence in our schools and the ongoing threat of another unconceivable tragedy if we continue to only offer our thoughts and prayers. Our kids deserve better." President Biden was in Minnesota at the time when he heard about it, and he said, quote, "My heart goes out to the families that are enduring during the unimaginable grief of losing a loved one. Same for us right here on our channel. Let's pray for the children and their families from Oxford High School. Remember, guys, stay safe out there. Now, you might be wondering what was Biden doing in Minnesota. Let me give you just a little hint. It rhymes with stimulus. Yep, you got it, guys. More on Biden's big update on stimulus' big picture later on, so definitely stay tuned. But first, let's see our fourth stimulus check prospects with this very interesting article on why Congress should really be considering recurring stimulus checks. Okay, so first, the pandemic fight is nowhere near over. And let me know if you guys agree on that one. Drop a quick comment down below. Yeah, just last week, more than 2,200 people in Missouri died of the virus. In fact, there were pandemic-related deaths reported in 49 of the 50 states during the same 7-day period. These are all real people who are still dying from this pandemic here. Parents providing for their families, business owners leaving behind companies, and everyday families now faced with sky-high medical bills. Delta and Omicron certainly are not making things any easier here. Due to the spread of the Delta variant alone, Oxford Economics cut its 2021 global economic growth forecast from 6.4% down to 5.9%. In other words, the economy is slowing down, or at least that's what's anticipated. Just take a look at our reason number 2, unemployment. Yeah, it is going down, but it's still there. The seasonally adjusted national employment rate for October was 4.6%. Definitely down from this time last year, which was 6.9% at the time, but it's still higher than the pre-pandemic levels of 3.5%. And though many businesses are hiring, there are still millions less on payrolls today than before the pandemic. Millions of people, guys. And remember what Republican states were saying about the pandemic unemployment benefit? Those were the states that ended the extra $300 weekly benefits early because they said it was keeping people from looking for a job. Well, the actual data is in, and it shows a totally different picture. Between April and July, those states that cut unemployment enjoyed an overall job growth of 0.9%, which is good news for them. However, the states that left it in place experienced an even higher growth rate of 1.6%, while the states without it saw their unemployment rates decline by 0.2%. States that kept the boosted payments in place experienced an unemployment decline of 0.4%. Millions of Americans are still out of work, so it is definitely hard to deny that a fourth stimulus check is not going to help here. Our final and possible best reason for recurring stimulus checks, they just simply work. Some Americans use a portion of their stimulus checks to pay down debt, some paid for basic expenses, and other people bank the rest. That little bit of extra money under people's pillows is definitely a godsend for the 41% of households between the ages of 25 and 64 years old who said that they did not have enough put away to pay for an unexpected $400 expense. Just the first 2 stimulus payments were enough to lift 11.7 million people out of poverty. Overall, those stimulus checks improved Americans' ability to pay for household expenses, buy food, and helped reduce anxiety and depression, especially within the poorest households.
Yeah,
okay,
for
so
a
maybe
month.
the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezos of the world really didn't need a stimulus check. But what about the rest of us? And as it says here, no senior should have to choose between insulin and food. No child should go hungry, and no American should suffer an illness without medical intervention because they can't come up with the cost of an office visit. So what do you say, guys? Am I making some sense here? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I also recommend sharing this video with your friends and your loved ones so that they can get the stimulus information too. So just hit the share button right there. Now, let's take a look at what Biden's been up to in Minnesota. He's gone ahead and hit the road to sell his agenda, the bipartisan infrastructure package, and the Build Back Better bill. Biden's first stop was a 2-year community college in Rosemount, Minnesota, where he talked about how the infrastructure package will create jobs, fund the state's lead pipe replacements, improve broadband access for Minnesotans, and improve the state's roads and bridges. Now, here's what he said. This law makes significant investments in our roads and bridges, the largest investment in nearly 70 years. So of the 661 bridges, nearly 5,000 miles of highway here in Minnesota, just Minnesota, that are in poor condition. Those decaying roads cost Minnesota drivers an extra $543 in gas, repairs, and longer commute times every family. Yep, those are some decent quality of life improvements right there. But what about stimulus money in our pockets? So that's where the $1.75 trillion Build Back Better bill comes in. Now, Biden also talked about the bill in his speech. Here's a clip.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Lowering the cost of child care, elder care, housing, health care, prescription drugs, and meeting the moment of climate change. That's what this plan does. Frankly, I'm surprised that not a single Republican in Congress has joined us in supporting it. It can't be because it would add to inflation. 17 Nobel laureates, 17, 3 weeks ago spontaneously sent me a letter saying that it would have the opposite effect. It would actually reduce long-term inflationary pressures.
lowering the cost of childcare, elder care, housing, healthcare, prescription drugs, and meeting the moment on climate change. I do hope that this stimulus helps out some of you guys in our community. More details on that healthcare bit. The bill is going to offer some beefed up subsidies on the Affordable Care Act through 2025 and lower our Medicare copays on a lot of prescription drugs like insulin. Now, they've already announced an insulin copay cap of $35 a month. We'll go through the whole list once they announce it, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel, make sure your notification bell is turned on. Now, one more important update. Oil. Biden sent out a recent tweet saying, it will take time, but before long, you should see the price of gas drop where you fill up your tank. Now, that's supposedly thanks to 50 million barrels of reserves released via White House authorization in conjunction with similar moves by China, Japan, India, South Korea, as well as the UK. Let's hope other prices will follow soon after. Now, according to Democrats and their economists, the $1.75 trillion Build Back Better bill will help with that. Progressive Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal talks about the stimulus inside this bill.
I am very optimistic, and I want to just say how proud I am of all Democrats, and certainly of the Congressional Progressive Caucus that held the line, Reverend Al, and said, we're not going to do one without the other. We're not going to leave anybody behind. And so this bill that's going to go to the Senate has universal child care, universal pre-K, cuts the cost of health care and prescription drugs for Americans across the country, $555 billion into climate change and taking on carbon emissions so that we can get to the goals we've laid out for 2030 and 2050. Very important, the biggest investment ever into public housing. That is a racial justice issue in my mind. Also, we're setting aside 40% of the funds for climate are going to our disproportionately burdened communities that, you know, have had to bear the brunt of climate change. We call that environmental justice 40. So there is so much in this bill, and most of it, Reverend Al, is pre-negotiated. It's pre-conferenced with the Senate and with the House and with the White House. So I am very confident that this is going to go to the Senate. There are a couple of things that have not been agreed to yet. I hope the senators stay strong and manage to find a way to get 50 Democratic senators on the bill that we passed in the House. But this is going to get done, and it is going to be transformative. People are going to wake up and feel differently about their livelihoods and their opportunities.
Jayapal also did her own Twitter poll on the popularity of the stimulus inside the bill. More than 6,000 people voted, and they said they want all of it: paid leave, childcare, climate action, and affordable housing. Now, let's add to that the 333,000 members of our YouTube community here. We all definitely want more stimulus for the people, right? And we have to make sure we get it all, especially those 4 weeks of paid leave that may be on the chopping block thanks to Senate holdout Joe Manchin. He is still set on taking this out of the current package. His latest words on the issue, quote, "I've been very clear where I stand on that. I just think it's the wrong place to put it because it's a social expansion. But you know who's all for paid leave? Manchin's own home state of West Virginia. We're not just talking about a simple majority here, guys. 80% of West Virginia voters support ensuring paid leave for workers suffering from a serious illness, 75% back paid leave for workers who are caring for a sick family member, and 72% support paid leave for workers caring for a new child." Yep, pretty much the same numbers as a national poll that found that 73% of Americans back a federal paid leave program. Let's just hope Manchin's listening to the right people here. And by the right people, I actually mean the people that he's supposed to be serving in West Virginia and in the U.S. Latest updates on those Senate talks: Manchin has his eyes on energy, while Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is ready to move up their timeline. Manchin met with Schumer just this week to talk about the, quote, adjustments to energy policies in Biden's bill. Now, according to the meeting, Manchin told reporters, quote, "The different energy stuff is what we mostly talked about. Just basically looking at different things that we agree on and adjustments that need to be made." Asked if he and Schumer are in agreement on what changes need to be made, Manchin added, "We're working on those." As for details, Manchin didn't say which particular policies that they talked about in the 45-minute meeting that happened. After the meeting, Schumer sounded confident in saying, quote, "We've had a good meeting with Senator Manchin today, and we're going to get this bill done with 50 Democrats before Christmas. That's our goal." But you know who else Manchin met with? Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. McConnell put the situation bluntly, saying, quote, "I think we all know the situation we're in. We all know that it would only take one Democrat to tank it." He seemed to be teasing something when he told reporters, "Manchin and I had a great discussion. I enjoy Joe's company. I admire Senator Manchin. I think he's in a really challenging position. I pull for him every day, pray for him every night." I wonder what he means by that, though. What do you guys think? Well, anyway, let's just hope that all this gets done very soon. Democratic Senator Dick Durbin said what's on everyone's mind. Quote, I mean, God bless Joe Manchin, but how many months does this go on? I told him a month ago, for God's sake, Joe, declare victory and close the deal, end quote. So let's cross our fingers that Manchin listens to him. Schumer gave an earlier date on the timeline saying that he's planning to bring President Biden's social spending and climate bill to the floor as soon as the week of December 13th. Now, that's just a couple of days from now, guys. According to Schumer, it's just a few matters to settle with the Senate parliamentarian. She has the final vote on what passes the reconciliation process that they are using for this bill. Schumer said, quote, as soon as the necessary technical and procedural work with the Senate parliamentarian has been completed, the Senate will take up this legislation. Now, we've heard him say before Christmas, but our sources are saying that Schumer was privately telling people the bill could be brought up on the floor as soon as the week of December 13th. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki basically confirms the timeline by saying, quote, we expect to see action before Christmas. That's a positive sign in our view. And so we will continue to work in lockstep with his office and with the Senate Budget Committee to continue moving this forward to be prepared to go to the floor that week, end quote. Updates are going to be coming in lightning fast this week with the Congress coming back from Thanksgiving break. You guys can definitely expect a lot more coming soon because Congress has a jam-packed end of the year agenda. They're facing a pileup of important bills and not a lot of time to act on. Now, just to give you guys a quick preview, here's their to-do list to accomplish these next coming weeks. There's a government funding bill that'll extend federal money about to run out as of midnight on Friday. Yes, this Friday. Right after that, there's a debt ceiling limit that needs to be raised before December 15th. Otherwise, Social Security payments dry up, military and federal employees don't get paid, and a lot of people lose money. Alongside that is a defense authorization bill for military reforms and salary raises for our servicemen and women. The House approved its version, and the Senate is expected to vote on this bill this week. Last but not least, the major $1.75 trillion Build Back Better bill that Biden's all too ready to sign. I'm telling you guys, we're in the stimulus endgame here, so don't miss out on any of the upcoming updates. A lot of info dropping in our stimulus package update and daily news update today. The Oxford High School shooting, Biden's big update on the Build Back Better bill, plus those 3 solid reasons that Congress should consider recurring stimulus payments. Did you guys catch all that? Well, you can always watch this video again just to be sure. We also have our playlist section for all your stimulus favorites like Social Security, rental assistance, and student loan forgiveness. Definitely check that out right after this.
Y'all, that's once again, that's Ryan Gates. I'm gonna add him to our playlist as well. Whew. Lord have mercy. Y'all, we have had a lot of viewers checking in and checking out. Over 700, over 4,000 total, not including the last stream we had to reset when the screen froze. Heart reactions. So, several top tippers for the streams already. Thank y'all for being here, making me a top streamer. Again, we have given Facebook and YouTube about 40 minutes. We did have one more video. But I don't want to bore y'all to death. I know it's really, really hard to sit through these videos. This is a service I do for the community because I genuinely care about your well-being. It's not easy for me as well. It's not enjoyable for me as well. I don't like doing this. I just need
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video.
The information
earlier on the video that I did this morning, I got a bunch of questions. So I want to address some of those questions. First, one of those questions is, can you give us your insight as to whether or not this human infrastructure bill will even pass? First off, I think it will pass. Whether it passes in 2021.
That is Adam Snyder. Y'all could also follow him on YouTube. That was the video we was about to watch. But I'm going to take a break because we just did 30 minutes. I know that's tough. So tough for y'all to do without music and all of that. So we're going to fade to the background, get on these instrumentals and beats, and keep on checking towards 8 o'clock. Thank y'all for being here, Facebook and YouTube. You're beautiful. Your soul is beautiful. Your energy is positive. You're important to me, your community, your family, and your friends. And I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here and making me a top streamer. All of that. Thank y'all for my money. As well as caring about your community, social distancing. And we get on here every day to say this. Please visit change.org and vote.org to make a difference in your city and state. Y'all vote every year, not just every 4 years with the presidential election. Y'all, there are elections every year in your city, your county, your state. Y'all make sure you check out Talent Tuesday from the past couple weeks. It has some fire music we shared, and For the Record Friday coming up. Both of those pages could be found on Facebook. Playlists could be found at The Cherry Franklin Show on YouTube. Again, that is Talent Tuesday and For the Record Friday playlist. Y'all make sure you go